So what do if the police pull you over and they say, "We smell weed in your car"? Well, there's three things that you need to do. The first, don't panic. If you panic, that's only going to add to their suspicion. In other words, if you're acting like a sniveling weasel, they're going to go, "Oh, this guy's so nervous. He must be hiding something." The police, if you're nervous, are going to say that's one of their justifications for holding you further and for their suspicion. So don't do that. Do not run away. If you run away, two things have happened. Number one, you've abandoned your car. If you've abandoned the car, the police have a right to search through and inventory abandoned property. So anything that was in there, guess what? They're allowed to find it. There's not much in the way of search issues. The other thing is, if you've run, the prosecutor is able to argue that you ran because you knew there was dope in the car. So don't panic, don't run. Part two, don't be rude and don't be out of control. If you're rude to the police and they have no case, you're going to jail. So don't be a jerk. The police officer's main concern is going home safely. I know your constitutional rights are important to you, but if a cop's being honest, he's going to tell you that more important than your constitutional rights is his ability to get home safe at the end of his shift. He's less concerned about your case getting thrown out in court than about him going home at the end of the day. If it's a bad case, just think it to yourself. Don't say it to the cop. Don't challenge him. Be happy. If it's a bad case, a lawyer can come along later and say, "Wow, well, the police, they messed up. We can get rid of this. It's a bad case." But don't you try to argue with the police. It's not going to get you anywhere. Part three, shut up. You never see a fish hanging on a wall that didn't open its mouth first. Be quiet. Now, how do you handle it? I know that the police sometimes do things to try to get people to talk, and the police have a need to try to get people to talk. But other than providing them with your name and your address, Social Security, and basic identifying information, you don't have to tell them anything. So don't fall for the, "Hey, if you don't tell us it's your weed, we're going to take your girlfriend to jail," or any of those other things. What you should do is, of course, be quiet. If you have to ask a question, "Gee, officer, am I being detained?" If the officer says, "No, I'm free to leave." If the officer says yes, go, leave. If the officer says, "Well, I'm still doing some stuff here, I don't want you to leave yet," guess what? You're being detained. And if you're being detained, that's the time you need to say, "I'm sorry, I want to exercise my right to remain silent." You may be going to jail that night, but you haven't given them additional evidence. So even if you're inconvenienced that night, it may mean that you wind up without a conviction. Don't fall for the bait. Just remember, big heads on Easter Island, that just stare at the sea and do nothing. You want to be like an Easter Island head and say and do nothing. Just be quiet, okay? If you need our help, give us a call. I hope you enjoy these videos. Thank you for watching.